We are the Monday Morning Madness team. I'm Dave.
I'm Lucy.
And I'm Danielle.
And these are the beginning slides of our film.
The Charlie Chaplin films are our main inspiration. We use the black and white convention and the silent movie convention too.
Different conventions that Charlie Chaplin's movies use is the speeding of the action which is going on, which we've also included into ours. Also, they use sound effects when different moves happen, when they use comical features, which we've also included into ours. For example, when Charlotte sits down on the chair, we've used a bomb noise and a whistling noise to show this, and also slowed down the motion to add in a modern kind of touch to our film.
And finally, the slides used in Golf Antics is something we've incorporated into ours to give it that whole vintage feel.
The aim of our production was to create a slapstick comedy. When researching, we found that many slapsticks in the style of Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton were in black and white, and they were silent films. So we've chosen to do this in our film. The whole film is black and white, and silence is running throughout, except from the music and the sound effects. Because we have silent film, our actors can overact their movements, making the comedy come out.
Also, overacting the movements is helpful when we were fastening up the action that was taking place. This then helps to enhance the comical factor, and also this was used from Charlie Chaplin, where he's, for example, where he's running in one of our films, he's being chased by a policeman, and this is all fastened up to add to this comical section.
With the absence of sound and dialogue, we decided to incorporate the title and slides and extra sound effects so that we can portray our storyline to the audience so they can follow and see what's happening.
Towards the beginning of our film, we've used a teacher shouting at the two school children that haven't done their work correctly. Many people from our audience research have found that they didn't really agree with this, and they wasn't sure why we put it in. This is one of the challenges that we have done for conventions, because at the beginning we want to grab our target audience, which is aimed at teenagers just around our sort of age. We want to grab their attention towards the beginning with the teacher shouting really, really loudly at the children, just so also this will help with the storyline, because if we just showed the children and put on the way to school, no one would really know we've done this to show the reason why the children have to be at school for the next day for our narrative.
As well as having the teachers shouting and speaking, because we wanted to add in some dialogue, we wanted to challenge other forms and conventions of silent movies. So in our mise-en-scène throughout the film, we have used different props, for example cars and laptops, and we've used modern clothing. It's all so the audience can relate themselves to this film, as well as being a silent film itself.
We've also challenged camera angles and camera positionings. In silent films, old films, they used a lot of tripods and steady cameras. We've got many close-ups and extreme close-ups, which we have done by holding the camera with our hands and moving it around the room.
To enhance the whole silent movie effect, we decided to add a sepia colour tone to the film, and as well as the grain in the film. We used the programs Photoshop, Adobe Premiere and Movie Maker, and we used all their tools to enhance this video so the audience can see that, as well as being in the modern day, we still wanted to reflect that in the olden times they did not have the technology to make the film as clean as they appear on the screen. We use this simply because it is a form and convention of a silent film, and the likes of Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin use this in theirs as well. As you can see, this is what a film would look like in modern colours, but now we have it in sepia tone.
There's two different characters in our short film. One is called Charlotte and one is called Joe. Charlotte, as you can see from our film, is very intelligent. She likes to be at school, she works hard, she revises, and this shows throughout the story. She rushes around trying to get to school, while on the other hand Joe, he doesn't rush around at all. She reads books and plays the piano to show this, and he lays in bed, lazy.
We wanted to give the character recognisable features, so Charlotte, for example, wears glasses, so she's a very stereotype of a geek or a nerdy person in your class. She also wears her skirt very high, which could also be of the same sort of nerdy, geeky-like style. Michael, on the other hand, or Joe, as we know him in the film, has very scruffy hair, scruffy clothes, and just doesn't care what he looks like.
In our film, we use sound a lot. The sounds are different for each character. Joe's music is quite sluggish and slow, showing that he's not rushing to get to school. On the other hand, the character of Charlotte, her music is very fast and rushed. This goes with her action as she's always rushing around. We did these different things because we wanted the audience to understand the difference between our characters. We wanted them to be relatable. Everyone's got a plate for school and everyone can relate to the different characters.
To also help represent our characters, the mise en scène in our short film is very important. As you can see, when Charlotte gets in from school, she's looking in the mirror, she's well presented with her clothes, she goes to play the piano, and this is all very kind of like high class for her, as she's reading books to show her intelligence. And also when she sits down at the table, everything is in good quality, there's some flowers, you can see that her room is quite tidy. With Joe, on the other hand, his bedroom is quite messy, he's just slumped on the bed, nothing's really been cleaned up. When he goes to clean his teeth in the morning, he doesn't even bother to use a brush. He's so stupid that he can't decide what breakfast he wants in the morning, which is part of the mise en scène. Also, when he sits down, he only chooses the cereal, which has the game on the back, which shows his intelligence is quite low.
Throughout the film, and as part of mise en scène, we decided to use natural lighting, because this is what they also used in sort of Charlie Chaplin's era and Buster Keaton's era. They had no special lighting effects that they could use, so why should we?
All of our settings are real settings. We haven't made anything. The streets that you see are real streets, and the reception areas are from our school. We want everything to look as natural as it possibly could. During the making of our film, we have a scene where there's a car driver, and he seems to be not paying attention, and neither does the person crossing the road. It looks like he's going to crash into him, but we had a real health and safety in place. We didn't want our actor to be scared or feel that he couldn't do it, so we asked him if it was okay. And he said it was fine. The speed that the car is going at is actually not as fast as it seems. We sped up this action to make it seem more scary than it actually is.
At the end of the film, the characters look like they're about to use foul language, but instead of this, we imported a slide that said fiddlesticks. This is because, in the olden days, they wouldn't swear like that on the screen, and we didn't want to use the foul language that modern people of today would use. So this is another form of convention of silent movies.
As you can see from the ending of one of our Charlie Chaplin research films, they have a clear stay ending with a slide that says the end, as well as the music changing. We have also incorporated this into our film. Although we have included extra slides at the end to add a different touch to it, we have also got the end slide, and our music is completely different to the ending of the film.
Overall, I think we managed our time pretty well. Do you think?
Yep, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Instead of wasting time and doing nothing, every lesson we used to plan, research, draft anything we need to do to contribute to our project.
The only problem was we do feel that we could have used our production time more wisely. We feel that we was more into our research and planning than we were actually recording. There was only a couple of days where we actually decided to go and record because we were planning and researching, or we were creating things.
I definitely feel that a lot of our problems came and actors let us down. Even though we'd planned things and we had good time management, we had a schedule and stuff, our actors would text them or we'd phone them, and they'd let us down at short notice, and it's really hard to get somebody else, especially when you've filmed a little bit and you've got an idea of what you want to do. It's really, really difficult.
And when we wanted to reshoot scenes as well, we were let down 3 times by one of our main characters, which means we couldn't go and reshoot the whole thing again because they were our main character, which had problems along with things that needed us doing as well.
Obviously, when we started before Christmas, it was also quite cold, and we had problems with snow as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, because the closer we got to January and February, we couldn't shoot some scenes because some scenes had sun in them and a dry ground, whilst others had snow and ice, so it wouldn't have matched.
I think that putting everything together, like our actors letting us down, the different weather types and all the different things we had, even though we didn't manage our time with the production, we've got everything done. everything's on schedule. We know where we're going with it. So I don't think we're that far behind or anything like that.
I think we don't really